Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Friday, June 20th, and Mizzou men's basketball has its complete opponent list. I won't say full schedule technically yet for the 2025-2026 men's basketball season because we don't have the dates of the SEC games. However, we did get all of the dates for Mizzou's non-conference games, and we got all of their non-conference opponents, as well as who they will be playing at home and on the road in the SEC. So I thought it would be fun to kind of just talk about that, discuss Mizzou's schedule. There's some, we've obviously talked about it in chunks before when some of these games have come out, but there's some interesting non-conference games as much as there are a lot of blood donors, as you can see, at least in theory, I guess. We shouldn't let that Jackson State game go too far out of our minds, I guess. But there are a lot of mid-major, low-major teams on here, but there's some interesting games, Payton and Kenny, and then the SEC opponents as well. I think it's interesting to look at who they're going to play at home and on the road. Payton, I'll let you go. What's your impression now that you have the whole schedule in front of you? Overall thoughts on how Dennis Gates did things? Pretty similar to how we've seen the last two seasons since he's taken over. I feel like, especially for the non-con.
Yeah, you say, it's low majors and mid majors, and then the couple of high. It's really just like feast or famine here. It's either really low majors that aren't going to do anything for your resume, or 4 high majors is what they have on the schedule. You're right. It is kind of basically the same as what it has been. It's Kansas, Illinois, and then the SEC. Whatever conference they're playing challenge. In this case, it's the ACC. And then maybe you get one fun game in there. Like with another high major this year, it's Minnesota. In the past, it's been Minnesota. Seton Hall was one. That was fun. Wichita State was kind of a decent series, I thought. But again, kind of the same deal with the non-cons. It'll be 9 games they absolutely should not lose, and then 4 games that are going to really kind of be make or break for you because of that. I think Minnesota, Notre Dame, Kansas, Illinois, at a minimum, if you want to make the tournament, you probably got to go 2-2 in that stretch. I think they probably will. Medved at Minnesota, he's a great coach. I don't know much about their roster right now. Year one of a program that has struggled historically, really, and especially in recent years. That's, of course, the return game of that awesome comeback where the team that shall not be named was able to pull off a win there. I think Missouri can get that one done, especially at home. Notre Dame's tricky. We had Jack Sobel on, friend of the show, Notre Dame beat writer. Notre Dame's talented. Again, that's another team I think Missouri should beat. And then Kansas and Illinois, I really would appreciate if they can find a way to get one of those. They go to T-Mobile for Kansas. I'll be honest, that's definitely going to be like a 75-25 split in favor of Kansas in the crowd. Illinois is more of a true 50-50, but Illinois is probably, once again, set up to be very good. So it's going to come down to those 4 games, really, before you get into SEC play. And SEC play, Kenny made a good point. He'll make a good point again. It's really hard to predict right now.
I think a fair ceiling maybe on the non-conference is 10-2. Is that something you guys can agree with? I know, Payton, you want to split
11-2. They have 13.
Oh, sorry, 11-2. Yeah, I think that's fair in my opinion. I think something in that 11-2 range would be a good one. I know you want to split maybe one of those Kansas Illinois games, but hey, you do. But you end up dropping it close with Notre Dame or Minnesota. I think that's a fair thing to throw out there, is that you'll cap at 11 wins, which is very good going into SEC play, because you've seen it over the last couple of years, and it's Mizzou's still not, helping itself maybe in the media, they're going to get nitpicked again. The Tigers are going to get nitpicked for this non-conference schedule. You didn't get to choose to play Notre Dame. That was one just already thrown on there. 2 of those games are locked in as rivalries against Kansas and Illinois. And the other one is just you're finishing off a home and home from 2 years ago with Minnesota. You didn't really choose to play any of their big-time schools. I know they're trying to, kind of make a difference, make a change just with the way college basketball is looking by playing on the road at one of these schools too against Howard, which is a big deal, going on the road playing against a HBCU and a team that's battled into tournament play before in the last couple of years. My last fun thing I liked from the non-conference before we give our just a quick takes on a possible record. VMI and Cleveland State. I think it'd be pretty funny if they did a full non-con of just former assistants of Dennis Gates, and they just play all the schools of where his former coaches went. Because he said before he has multiple head coaches on his staff. If they could play against a JUCO team, I'm sure they would put John A. Logan on there as well.
John A. Logan would be. Well, they played. What was the JUCO from Texas that they played a couple of years ago? What team was that, or was it Division II or something? Paul Quinn.
Paul Quinn was like an NAIA, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't even a JUCO.
Wow.
And,
yes.
Boy, oh boy, Missouri won that game. You look at the score, it was handily, but you look at the second half, it was a lot closer than I think it probably should have been. Let's not even mention that last year of Conzo.
Who is y'all's Kenny? You kind of said it with Cleveland State and VMI. Payton, who's your favorite non-Kansas opponent on here of this group?
I don't think Kenny's actual answer would be VMI or Cleveland State.
What?
I'm not going to say Illinois either because that's a cop-out. For one, I'm really disappointed SIUE is not on the schedule. I'm really sad that realignment continues to take rivalries away from Missouri. I'd like to see Coastal Carolina brought back. Where are my beautiful non-cons?
What about Penn, the Quakers? I don't need to see that one again. Bring back SIUE first.
I think my favorite is got to be Notre Dame, honestly. I think that's a fun matchup. Notre Dame is a big name. They may not be fantastic this year. I still think they're very talented. They have one of the best freshmen in the country in Jalen Harrelson. That should be a good matchup. It honestly, I think, will be a pretty good building block resume game potentially for Missouri. That should be a firm quad 2 game at worst. If you go in and win that, that's a good quad 2 feather in your cap.
Other than Illinois, Missouri has a losing record against one other team in this group. Can you name that team?
It's Kansas.
Oh, and Kansas. Sorry, other than Illinois and Kansas.
It's not Notre Dame. Maybe a school they've only played once or twice. Is it SEMO?
It's not SEMO.
They are 9-0, a perfect 9-0 against SEMO.
Can I throw up my favorite school before Payton guesses it?
Yes. Sorry,
mine is Prairie View A&M because that is a makeup game, and so I thought that was a lot of fun too. I know people won't care about that. That's just one of those niche things that we care about because it was during our college time at Missouri.
We're bringing back more Conzo memories. That was supposed to be during the COVID year, 2020-21 season, which was actually the good Conzo team while we were there. And that game got canceled right before Christmas break. I remember that, or winter break.
What year was that? Was that 21-22? No,
2021.
So that's funny too, because then Prairie View A&M pulled that upset over Texas in that NCAA tournament.
Nope, that was
Abilene Christian.
Oh, Abilene Christian. I had the wrong team.
Purple, still purple.
Yeah, still purple.
Wrong Texas team.
Purple in Texas. Yeah.
Purple in Texas.
I'm going to have to say it's Minnesota then. I can't imagine Missouri has a losing record against any of those other teams.
It is Minnesota. They are 1-2. Their only win came when Payton and I were in attendance in 2023. And then my other quick quiz. There are 3 teams on here that Mizzou has never faced before and will play for the first time. Who are those teams?
Bethune-Cookman is definitely one.
Missouri has never faced. Sorry, there are 4. I forgot about Bethune-Cookman, but that is one.
Wow.
VMI?
VMI is 2. They have never played the Virginia Military
Howard
Institute.
Nope.
They
played Howard at home.
Against Howard. They played Howard at home last year.
Then is it South Carolina State?
Nope,
they are 2-0.
They played them in the 0-18 year
against South Carolina State.
Oh, man.
I remember that game.
I think Cleveland State is one.
Cleveland State is one. They will play
Alabama
Cleveland
State.
for the first
I feel like
time.
that's.
No, they've played Alabama State.
They are
played
2
Alabama State last year.
They are 2-0
Oh
against
wow, I forgot.
State.
The Prairie View.
Is it
Prairie-
South Dakota?
No, they're 4-0 against South Dakota.
Wow.
It is Prairie View A&M is the other one. They'll play Prairie View for the first
I
time.
forget what they stole from us.
Yeah. Howard
that
1-0,
mean?
SEMO 9-0, 1-2 against Minnesota, 4-0 against South Dakota, 2-0 against South Carolina State, 9-7 against Notre Dame all time. Good battle.
16 games in that series. Wow.
They are under 500 against Illinois and Kansas, and then they have 2-0 against Alabama State. Those are always fun for me. I like looking at those like historic ones. And then conference, just touching on that briefly. I mean, Kenny makes a really important caveat, and then we'll pick our record predictions. We won't lock this in. I think Kenny makes a good point. We can have a revise once the SEC actual dates of the games are out, because Kenny made the good point off air. You don't know. I mean, you look at the home schedule, is Auburn, Florida going to be a Tuesday, Saturday for them? That could maybe change how you look at some of those record predictions. That would be obviously a tough week on paper. But I think it's really interesting. It's Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, and Vanderbilt at home. Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Texas A&M on the road. Oklahoma, Mississippi State, and Arkansas are the 3 teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. The same as last year. Who was that third team last year? They played twice because they keep Oklahoma and Arkansas, and then it's the one that rotates. I'm totally forgetting who they played twice last year. It was Vanderbilt, wasn't it?
Oh God, it was.
Yeah, it was Vanderbilt because they lost the one on the road. So they're doing Mississippi State this year instead of Vanderbilt twice. Any quick notes, gents, on the away or maybe the home opponents? I think there's some exciting home games there. Florida and Auburn coming to town, I think, is really cool. You've got those are probably the 2 big ones. You've obviously got the Arkansas games that happened twice. But you guys have any quick thoughts on those opponents?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the home opponents, there's a lot of swing games in there. I think Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida are all teams that are probably going to be expected to be better than Missouri. But then you get like Georgia, Mississippi State, Oklahoma. Like those are teams in your tier, I think, that you really need to win those types of games. I think Oklahoma did a good job in the portal. I think they're going to be a team you need to scratch at least one off this year. Last year, we were really disappointed they went 1-1 against Oklahoma because that Oklahoma team wasn't good. But this year, I do think Oklahoma is a better team. Not than Missouri, I'm saying, but like a good team. So those are a couple swing games. I think Tennessee really did not do a whole ton. I think it's going to be a bit of a retool for them this year. I don't expect to see that typical 1 or 2 seed Tennessee team that we've gotten accustomed to the last few years. That'd be a nice one to get. Texas, Sean Miller is in control of that program now.
Yeah.
I think that's one you got to circle as a swing game. Vanderbilt really scares me this year. I think Vanderbilt is set to be a really good team. But a very doable home schedule. I think if you can get out of there like 6-3, you're probably looking at you're probably sitting in a good spot. You got some favorable aways as well. I mean, South Carolina, no offense, I don't think they're going to be that good. There are a couple games I just see no way they win.
I don't know. They're in their 3rd year with Lamont, and year 1 was really good. Year 2 is really bad. So if it's going to continue,
That's true. If it's the Dennis pattern,
they might finish 4th in the SEC.
Kentucky, no chance. I don't see. That's maybe the least winnable game to me.
Is that the toughest game on the schedule for you when you think of environment wise and opponent?
Yeah. I think Kentucky is going to be really good just in general this year, and going to Rupp, that's not a recipe for success. But that's the only one I look at and say I don't see a way. There's a way Missouri wins that game on the road. Like I can imagine a way they win all those other games. Arkansas is probably the second least winnable. Alabama, though, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Knowlton, they were kind of quiet in the portal. They got that center from Bucknell really quickly. There wasn't a whole. I know they wanted Phylon back more than anything else.
Yeah, they got a good wing from Florida State. The biggest wins for them were they got LeBaron Phylon back, and then they have Aiden Holloway, that shooting guard.
Right. Yeah,
threes.
but
they'll be pretty good.
Yeah, but I just not the Nate Oates special that I kind of am thinking of, where they're just going to be able to overwhelm everyone offensively. I'd have to see them do it before I believe they can do it.
Yeah.
A&M, another team with a new coach. It's unfortunate you don't get that one at home. I'd rather get all the new coaches at home. But again, A&M, a team that finally you don't have to watch buzzball. So that you never know. It's a total toss up in year one. So we'll see. I think it's a doable schedule, but it's hard to, like Kenny said off air, really hard to predict it right now.
Yeah, well, I think Payton hit on everything. But one, like, I guess, plus about it is that I think it's easy to say, like, you can, like, tier rank the environments that you play in the SEC. No matter what, a lot of these teams, especially like coming off of last year, they're going to sell out a lot of these games, especially early on, even if some of these teams have rough non-cons. I think you got pretty lucky with your away draw in that regard. I know Alabama can sometimes be a little rowdy, and you've seen that firsthand, Jack, but I think the biggest one there is Kentucky. LSU doesn't really sell out many games right now. And I think that's
bad too.
Yeah, it's just another, it's a skid right now just for the program. And but LSU fans are, up there with a lot of other, like Arkansas, like they'll go to any sport and cheer on their teams. And you don't really hear too much about the other ones. And I'm not trying to knock on anyone. It's just, I think you got kind of lucky with that, because it is a tough thing to do, to go down there and beat Florida again after a national championship on the road when you were the only one to do it last year. Auburn is another tough one. So I think you got a little bit lucky there. I think in a perfect world, you play Kentucky again at home. That was a tight game at some parts, even though Mizzou lost it.
That was such a frustrating game.
But you're going to go on the road for that one, and I think you have your expectations should be higher on the road this year than last year. And even last year, we didn't really set high expectations after coming off an 0-18 campaign.
Yeah, the one I'll throw in road-wise, I think is going to be underratedly tough too, is Ole Miss. I'll give them that place. I've heard is a really tough place to play, and I think they're going to be a good team next year. But I think you're totally right. I think Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas, you got to go both, but those are all very, very good environments. I think it's good you get most of those teams at home. I'll segue that into the record prediction, because I think it's also worth noting the SEC is just going to be such a compelling conference with how good it was last year, but how much talent has left. I forget what list Mark Mitchell was on, but he was like one of the only top returning scorers like that came back to his school. And there was so much movement, but obviously a lot of these teams got better as well. And we'll talk more about it as we get closer to the season. I'll throw mine out there. I have the 11-2 non-con. So I'm going to lean on the optimistic side to start. We're still such a long way out. I have 20-11 and 10-8 in the SEC as my preliminary record. I think there's
exactly what I was going to do.
Okay. I have some real gettable. I think there's some real gettable
10-8, and you said 11-2. That'd be 21 and
that
would be 21 wins.
Whatever adds to. Did I not do my math right? Isn't it 13? It's 13 non-con games, isn't it?
Yeah, and you said 11-2, and then you said 10-8 in the SEC.
You're right. So that would be 21-11. My bad.
It'd be 21-10, or
21-10. I had my wires crossed. 21-10 overall. We can't be expected to do basic math here. That's what I'm going to go.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because I think that probably that record plus the wins they'd probably have to get there, I think that puts them firmly in the tournament once again. But it's weird, because I think if you go like 2 games backwards and go 19-12 or something like that, you're probably on the bubble, firmly in the bubble conversation. So you do make a good point. Last year, the SEC was literally the greatest conference ever. It was very annoying. This year, it is not going to be that. I think the conference is going to be way down. I think returners are going to be key, and Missouri does have a big advantage in that 2 of arguably their best players last year, and Ant Robinson and Mark Mitchell are back and probably going to be asked to be the guys on this team this year. And I think they are capable of that, but we have to see the rest of the supporting cast. I'll say 11-2 as well in non-con. I really don't think they're going to lose to Minnesota. I don't think they'll lose to Notre Dame as well. I think if they lose both of those games, going to be a long year. I'd like to say I can see them splitting one of Kansas or Illinois, and I think if you do that, then I don't even care if you lose to one of Minnesota or Notre Dame, like Kenny mentioned earlier. That would be an ideal scenario. It'd be lovely to see that. I don't see it right now, though. I'm going to stick with just a nice 9-9 in conference for now. So I'll say Missouri does get to that 20-11 mark is my prediction.
Yeah, it is so extremely hard to do this, especially we don't even know how this team will look still because it's another.
We don't know the rotations.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's another transfer team.
Starters. Yeah,
you don't even know if these transfers will hit either. But coming off last year, you do have a better feeling about where this team will be this year than you did going into last year. And I don't know. I think I'm in the same boat as you, Payton. I will go with the exact same record for now. I really want to see how those SEC schedules shake out because sometimes you'll say, the fans will say, "Oh, you got screwed because you like Jack mentioned. What if you have back-to-back home games and you have to play Auburn and Florida in the same week? There is no rest or kind of slowing down at all. You're playing both back-to-back. So I'm going to definitely roll with you, Payton. 11-2 and 9-9.
This is just I did a quick research because of how much talent the SEC lost. Can you guys guess how many players from all 3 all SEC teams are back this year? How many players in total combined? So there's 15 players. How many of them came back?
So I mean, it's like
just throw out a number.
Back. Was Phylon on a team? He had to be. No. He wasn't. Wow.
Not on the all SEC first, second, or third team. I just did those 3.
And Mitchell was. He was on third team, if I'm not mistaken. Ant was on the defensive team.
I didn't count that.
Yeah. I'll say 4.
Kenny, you got to guess?
Boogie Flan probably wasn't.
Boogie Flan was not on one.
Yeah.
So it's just the top 3.
And yep, just the all SEC first, second, and third team. How many players came back this year?
I'm assuming it's going to be really low. I'm just going to go one below Payton. I'll go 3.
It was 4. Mark Mitchell, Alex Condon, Otega Owe, and Josh Hubbard. The only 4.
Oh, Alex Condon. Who was the last one?
Josh Hubbard.
Josh Hubbard. Golly, that's annoying that you have to play Mississippi State twice.
Among the all defensive team, off the top of my head, I think Anthony Robinson is the only one who is back.
I couldn't tell you who else was on it. So
Denver Jones is gone. Jemai Meshack might be back for Tennessee. Cameron Matthews is definitely too old.
Were either of Hawk or Condon on that?
No.
That's
it. So there you go.
Hawk was 6-man contention, but also quick notes. 2 of the non-con dates, the entire non-con schedule got revealed, but the 2 that stuck out were the home opener is SEMO on November 7th and Minnesota is November 12th.
Yeah, those are early ones. They end it with after bragging rights, they play Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman before.
I always love that after bragging rights, you get just one or 2 more blood donors. It reminds me of the Central Arkansas game right after the Cotton Bowl that nobody but me watched.
All right, so there you go. There's some schedule talk. This is just getting me really geared up for college basketball to eventually be back. We don't even have college football back yet, which I'm also excited for. Going to be a great fall, great winter, and hopefully a great spring for all that. Should we segue, fellas? We do have a before quick hits Mount Rushmore as promised. It feels like it's been a long time since we've done a Mount Rushmore, even though it really hasn't. Kenny is assembling the meal. We're going to do Mount Rushmore of local Columbia eateries, restaurants, dining establishments, whatever name you have.
So I can't pick Texas.
You cannot pick. No, I'm not gonna scratch that.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe we don't do.
I have one chain restaurant on my list.
Can I pick Chili's?
No. We're scratching these off. No, you can't.
Let's do small businesses.
Yeah. Local establishments.
Local. Okay.
The one I had on my list that I was maybe going to pick as a joke was the Columbia Raising Cane's, because that has a lot of ties to us and our friends when it first opened.
Something about that one does hit different as well, I will say.
It is great. But no, we're going to do local establishments. You're not doing the Columbia Texas Roadhouse or the Columbia Longhorn Steakhouse. Shout out Chase. All right, Kenny's spinning. Oh, and look at that rigged wheel. Look at that.
I always go first.
Wait. Oh, no. Oh,
I
yeah.
am always
Because you rigged
first.
the wheel. It's because
I don't want to go first. I went to bed the other night thinking I didn't want to go first.
Payton's
It's
going to be
always
second. It's always Jack third. Jack sucks.
You get to snake. Being second is the worst.
Actually, being second is pretty bad.
I have a feeling I know where Kenny's going. Pick
All right,
one.
Kenny. 1-1. What are you picking?
1-1.
I'll
This is
write them
tough.
down. I'll write them down in my notes.
You're
All right.
basically telling everyone in Columbia this is the best place in the
restaurant,
world
and no
to
one's going to
eat.
agree with me. I feel like you just can't go wrong with this one. I think you can get whatever you want there. It's a good atmosphere. They don't take reservations, which has always been a funny thing to me. I'm going to take Flat Branch. I just feel like that's
I
it's a
could
easy go-to.
I
I feel like if your family's in town, you're going to wait outside trying to get a table. They'll say, do you want to sit outside? And you can sit in the heat in August and September for those early football games. I'm going to go with Flat Branch.
That's a good pick.
The obvious pick. I think it had to be on there. I am gonna go with a pretty easy one for me, at least. I'm gonna go with Addison's. Addison's is a place that surprised me like nowhere else on earth. I thought I was not going to like any of the food. I got a chicken wrap and it was really good. Shout out Kenny's mother for paying for my meal. And shout out Moon Choi for taking a photo with us, sitting at the table next to us. So
that's how it started. The lore. I am third. I have 2. I'm going to go with one actually over in the south of Columbia. Shout out to Pete Bland, the lead sports editor of the Columbia Missourian, for having me try this place first. I'm going to pick Murray's. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Murray's, but it is phenomenal. They have very good, I think it was like onion rings that are like, they put like, what is it? Like powdered sugar on them. And it was one of the craziest things I've ever eaten. And they were delicious. And that place rocks. Great atmosphere in there. I think they do like live piano performers on some days. So I will pick Murray's. My second one, I'm going to go purely for the love of the masses. Although I guess maybe Columbia locals might not actually put this one on here. So you know what? No, I'm going to zag. I'm going to go with Sycamore over on Broadway.
Okay. I was wondering if Sycamore was even going to get taken until the end.
I like Sycamore.
Yeah.
I know Kenny's been there. I've never been.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I've never been to Addison's. I never went.
There's a couple.
Really good. I love Addison's.
All right, Peyton, yeah, you're back on the clock.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Heidelberg.
Oh, I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was really hoping
to
this
pick
fell
that.
to me. Really just a great place to just go and sit. Just watch some sports, some quality. I think the food is pretty quality. Like, it's not going to blow you away, but it's really reliable.
It's good.
I think it's really good. It's a good environment. We had a couple trips there as a friend group that I have positive memories of.
I've had many trips there. I love Heidelberg.
Is my pick. Yeah, I know you do.
It's a good spot, even just if you're not eating much either. This is a tough one, so I got back to back. I'm just going to take this one now so I can kind of stew over some other ones. I'm going to take CC's City Broiler. It's a very expensive sit-down restaurant. So you're paying for the best foods in the city, in my opinion. Just overall quality of the steakhouse. I'm going to take CC's there. This is where it kind of gets tough. I'm going to just take a breakfast place now because I'm scared both of these would fall. No. I love Broadway Diner. I think it's great. Very busy diner. It's smaller. But I'm going to take Ernie's.
Damn it.
It's so hard to beat it. The inside is awesome. Feels like you're stepping back in time.
Yeah.
We didn't live through that time, but I'm sure that's what it felt like and looked like. And I'm going to take Ernie's.
That was my next pick. I am bummed out. I had never been there. And then Kenny suggested it as he was driving me back to the airport. From homecoming, we went with our now very super friend Aaron,
our good friend,
our really good friend,
elevated friend.
Kenny took me to Ernie's. I had never been, and I now want to go every time I'm back in Columbia. That was the best breakfast food I've had in ages. Yeah. I am going to go with another place where I got breakfast food. Whenever my mom would visit town, this is where we would go. I'm going to take JJ's Cafe. I really doubt that you guys have ever been here.
I've never been there.
It's pretty north of downtown. Just really solid, like good breakfast food, good vibes in there, nice. It's what I want, like a breakfast place to be. It's nice, soothing music, good chocolate milk, a lot of old people around. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that,
no, I
good
do. I do. I am
breakfast
picking
food
up on
place
that.
vibe. So that was
Yep.
that's gonna be my pick. I wanted Ernie's, but JJ's is not a bad consolation prize.
Where did we go in Dallas before the Cotton Bowl? Whatever.
I
that
don't.
place
I don't
was.
know what it's
Matt
called.
Payton.
I can try to find it.
It had some serious those breakfast vibes. Like
It was a
Yeah.
great
fun.
breakfast place, and it was family
Yeah.
owned and everything.
Yep. That was a good spot. Not a Como staple, but man, my Sycamore pick was bad. I could have had Ernie's and the Heidelberg back to back, and I went with that was poor form.
Wow, down in Sycamore right now.
Yeah, I'm already Sycamore's good. I don't want to down any local place. I love the Ernie's.
Our good friend Aaron was on my back one night. We had been doing some stuff out at some restaurants, some establishments, and it was 1 a.m. And she wanted to piggyback ride and accidentally ran her into the wall in front of Sycamore.
Oh,
She
I
was
remember this.
She was not very happy.
I was gonna say, knowing our friend Aaron, I'm sure she got over
Yeah.
that very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think that was good. Okay.
I think it was called Maple Leaf Diner.
Oh man. So
That
I'm
might
kinda
have been
out.
it. That doesn't ring a bell though.
I'm kind of
No,
out
it
of
wasn't.
my breakfast places. I also have to confess something, and I don't know if you two are going to take it, but if you guys aren't, I think we should establish this now because otherwise we'll get chastised for not picking this place. I had never went to Booch's in my time in Columbia. Never went there, and I know I know
heard
people
so many
love it.
good things about it.
So when I go back, I'm making it a point. I will go to Booch's when I go back the next time because I feel really
Can we
bad that I never
take places that are no longer open,
I'll let
because I'm not gonna take this shot, but I know Kenny might.
I'll let you decide that when you get to your pick. I'm gonna for now. I think I am just gonna take it. It's such a staple. You know, you heard about it as soon as you visited Mizzou once, and the atmosphere in there is pretty great. As much as I think there are better spots, I am gonna take Shakespeare's. I
was gonna take that with my last pick.
And at Shakespeare's, there is better pizza in Columbia, but frankly, most of it I would always get to go. Like I wouldn't actually want to go. Shakespeare's, I wanted to go. I wanted to sit. I wanted to have a pizza and a beer and look at all the cool stuff in there. And,
I am
hang out.
rebelling against the hipster opinion that Shakespeare's sucks. Shakespeare's is an environment place. There's good vibes in there, and the pizza is not that
The
bad.
pizza is perfectly solid.
Good.
I think it's
fine
less.
pizza.
For me, it's always been less of an indictment on Shakespeare's and more. I think Columbia has good pizza. I thought there was always good places to eat pizza there, but
It does, yeah.
I will take Shakespeare's. I gotta go with this one. Kenny brought up the 1 a.m. activities, and I think this might make him mad because I think he's thinking about maybe taking.
Yeah, I was going to take it. Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that was my last pick. I knew Payton wouldn't take it, and Payton's never been to this place. Yeah, thanks.
What is it?
Let's pause for a second. I need to go do something.
Okay, we're back. We're in the middle of a very angering pick for Kenny because I am going to select for my last pick. Kenny talked about 1 a.m. places to go and just have some fire food. I'm going to pick El Rancho. I love El Rancho. The food in there's so good.
I've been to El Rancho.
It's
just
great in the
not
daylight hours.
Right.
It is 10 million times better in the midnight hours when, particularly if you've maybe had a few adult beverages.
when you guys have been up to your
up to some shenanigans.
yeah.
It is an iconic place. There's always a line out the door at 1 a.m., but it's great. And Kenny loves it very much, as you can tell.
It's also like a place that we went to eat our first homecoming back. We went to eat there like in the middle of the day, and it just wasn't the same. Like it wasn't very good. There was also like always this thought, like you would eat it, you would never finish your food. You bring it back, and you think you'd eat it the next morning. It was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah,
why am I eating this morning?
Oh my god, the amount of just uneaten El Rancho boxes in the Todd student living fridge of Kenny and I. That was a staple. I'd get up Sunday morning to grab my Brita because I don't drink the tap water in Columbia. It's really gross. And I just see El Rancho boxes in there. I'm like, oh, that'll never get eaten. And then I'd move back
I just
on.
throw it away.
So many good memories. One time I accidentally threw Kenny's food away.
That was the last time we ever went.
Yeah, that was bad. All right, that's my last pick. I am all done with my draft. Payton.
Shakespeare's is a bummer having it ripped for me because that is a good place. I will not hear otherwise. I hate the hipster, I think I'm so cool, Shakespeare sucks argument. That is stupid. But I'll go with I will admit this place's pizza is better, but it's not the same environment. But it is still good, and it's fun to walk around with just the box in your hand. Pizza Tree. I think this still counts as a restaurant. It's kind of more flimsy, but I think the only purpose is to serve you pizza. That's a restaurant to me. So I'm gonna go Pizza Tree as my last pick.
I definitely will not argue with you from the food standpoint. It is very good. It's my favorite pizza in Columbia. I only didn't draft it because I was thinking I was focusing on places I've sat down in and also.
Do you want to trade? I'll trade you.
I thought about
no trades. No,
trades.
I
don't want. I don't want to trade. Declining trade.
Right.
Unless you give me 2 future first round picks.
Okay.
Can't do that.
I'm with you guys. One weird thing about Booches for me, I know even people they always want to go when they come back, is that I just don't carry cash. Unfortunately,
neither.
It's a cash only place. That's not like me trying to say I'm old or younger than anyone. I just have never gone to an ATM. I just can pay with my card. Very minimalistic. So it's just something in the back of my mind. I just never have cash to go. And there's no Chase ATMs in Columbia, so it's always an issue. I have to pay a fee anytime I want cash, unless I do cash
Who's
back
your
somewhere.
pick, man?
Just out of curious, what do the numbers say on the back of your credit card?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It actually is. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
So there's a lot of good ones here, like Glenn's Cafe, some
that is
places kind of popped up. Broadway Brewery. We only sat in there once, I think.
Do you like Glenn's?
But I'm going to take Tellers. We found it pretty late.
Yes.
It caught on fire at one point. I think people might be asking, where's what?
Tellers has food?
Yeah.
Oh, you never had the Payton. Have you never had the chicken tenders at Tellers?
That's what they're known for.
Dude,
No, I think I did because I think I went really. Oh man, I do think I remember this.
Those are maybe the best chicken tenders I've ever had. They're so good.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I totally forgot about that.
I was gonna say you'd like Tellers for their food. They have good food.
I had just 2 honorable mentions. I don't think you guys have ever been, but Big Daddy's BBQ is pretty good. And Las Margs, I think, should be one in there. I think there's two options in Columbia. I had a pretty bad experience. One time I went there, one of the last times, service wasn't great. But
Las Margs is either you will get a table in 5 minutes and your food will be suspiciously ready suspiciously quickly, or you will be in there for 2 hours and you may never get your food, and you will drink 4 pitchers of very cheap, very bad margaritas, regardless of the time.
Okay, I'm glad people aren't mad about that then.
No, I had Las Margs on mine too.
I don't know that I had any honorable mentions. I do just want to bring up Sub Shop quick because Sub Shop was really good, but oh my god, was it expensive.
There's another one.
Rest in peace to Sub Shop. The one behind.
Well, it's not dead.
Which one was behind Lee Hills Hall?
That was Sub Shop, but there's another one. There's multiple locations
okay.
in
So it's just that location closed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think along with Booch's, the other one people will be upset none of us picked is Pickleman's. I just didn't really go there all that much.
I never
That's
went
a chain.
to Pickleman's.
It is also kind of a chain. That's fair.
It was in St. Louis.
Booch's, I fully acknowledge, everyone in the world said it was great. I never had the cash to want to go.
I never went. The only other one I had was B12 on Sundays when they had the dollar burger, dollar fries, because that was great.
B12 had some great wings. I'll actually say I really like the wings at B12.
All right. Good draft, fellas. It was a good trip down memory lane. It's gonna be very excited the next time I go to Columbia and I can eat at some good establishments. All right. We will segue, finish out the show with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. Payton has a story first.
Shame on me for not remembering this. I do remember Tellers. It did spark it. Tellers was the last place, all of us. I don't know if you two were there, but all of us, our friend group from college, ate at Tellers. That was the last big trip all of us made. So Tellers is a good. It does have good food. I remember that now. Shame on me.
The last trip all of us made. I don't think you two guys were there, but all of us went.
All of us were there.
All of us, as in our friend group from college. Okay,
it was a movie.
Might not have been there. I don't know.
I already went home.
Yeah, Kenny was gone. I do remember Kenny had left earlier that day, but I don't remember if Jack was there. He's just not that memorable.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, jersey of the week. Kenny, what's your jersey?
My jersey of the week goes to Jake Garcia. He's joining his fourth college football program. Started off in Miami, of course, 2 seasons with the Hurricanes. 1 year as a third stringer for Missouri, never appeared in any game. Went to East Carolina last year, played in 6 games, lost his job. He still passed for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns in a short amount of time.
How many picks?
I forgot about this. He did have 12 picks. In his career, he has 15 touchdowns and 16 receptions. He was a big-time recruit, too. He was a nationally ranked recruit, 4-star on some networks. And he's going to Michigan now. He's going to be adding some depth to that room. Trouble in Ann Arbor?
Bryce Underwood, washed?
Needless to say, if Jake Garcia sees the field for Michigan, and Kenny and I were texting about it, like things have gone very wrong in Ann Arbor this season. But like Kenny said, good depth. Mikey Keene is the other guy there from Fresno State, the veteran. And of course, Underwood. I still fully expect Underwood to be the guy when snaps are taken in Michigan's first game. But
the top reply.
Good for Jake Garcia. 2 Block M teams in his career now.
It's true. It's true.
And he might not play a single snap for either.
For either one of them.
There's a chance. I'm not trying to drag the guy, but that is
it's kind of funny.
No, it's funny. Payton, your jersey.
I'm gonna have 2 jerseys actually, and it's unfortunate. Both Brock Lucas and Brady Piccarelli entered the transfer portal from Missouri University. Piccarelli was what?
Missouri University? That's not correct.
What do you mean?
University of Missouri.
The University of Missouri.
The University of Missouri. They have both entered the transfer portal. Sorry about that. But these 2, I think, are actually the most impactful ones. Piccarelli was had a very good freshman for a true freshman in the SEC. Brock Lucas, I know people are going to look at the ERA and be like, who cares? He had legit stuff. I believe his fastball sits mid-90s, can touch upper 90s. It just probably one of those situations where he was just looking for a clean break. It wouldn't shock me if he goes to another SEC team and kind of rights the ship a bit. Piccarelli, I'd be really surprised if he doesn't wind up somewhere good. 997 OPS, 3 years of eligibility. He had a very, very good freshman season. And look, when you go 3-27 in SEC play, and that's before the SEC tournament, obviously you're not going to lose sleep over losing a lot of the guys, but these 2, I think, were ones that I think Missouri would not have mind keeping.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's the continued kind of cycle of a program trying to figure it out in a league that is almost impossible to do. So yeah, big losses for Mizzou on the baseball front. I'm not going to get much brighter on the softball front. I mean, we already knew Taylor Pinnell was leaving, but my jersey of the week goes to Taylor Pinnell. She found a new home at Texas A&M. So the Aggies, she will be staying, of course, in the SEC. So we'll have a Taylor Pinnell revenge game opportunity. Obviously a bummer for Mizzou softball that she left. Had a really good junior season. Did go 5-9 with 3.33 ERA, but a key kind of veteran member of that rotation staying in the SEC. So it'll be an interesting series against Texas A&M.
How about we keep it going? Let's keep talking about some more departures. I got one as well.
This is my main bird.
Yeah, this is my main bird. Goes
I like
to
no cap, and he's the main bird.
They got to play it. It's required.
Yeah, my main bird goes to Caden Shepard, who found her home after entering the transfer portal in her freshman season with the Tigers. She's going to Iowa State. My bird connection. The Cyclone. He does the grin.
Is that 2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row doing the grin.
One more time.
And Mizzou beat out Iowa State first time around. Wichita State, Tulsa, and Oklahoma State were some other schools in the mix. She had a lot of good, honors, all-state honors coming out of Blue Springs, out of high school, and didn't play too much in her freshman season. Only appeared in 6 games. Hit 333 with 2 hits, so not a lot to the resume. But Iowa State gets the second chance with Caden Shepard.
That's 2 for 6 for those keeping track at home.
Look at him.
mathematician right here.
Good mathing. Good mathing.
Can
Yeah.
you do your cyclone
one more time?
One more time for us.
It's side the Cardinal. Sorry, not side the Cyclone.
The Cardinal. Peyton, what's your main bird? Kenny, can you just hold it for the rest of the show? Or is that
You want me to just hold it for the rest of the show until it's my turn to talk?
Yep, okay. Go ahead.
My main bird of the week is going to be Harrison Mevis. If you're looking for a bird connection, Anders Carlson was waived as the corresponding move here. Anders Carlson went to Auburn, War Damn Eagle. Eagle is a bird. But Harrison Mevis is back in the NFL, back after a very successful stint in the UFL with the Birmingham Stallions. The Jets signed him to the active roster and waived Anders Carlson. So I don't know if they'll bring in more competition. Obviously, I'm not a Jets beat reporter, but good for Harrison Mevis. A lot of guys, especially kickers, have gone the UFL route to get back into the NFL, and it's paid off. So Harrison Mevis looking to be the next one.
You guys want to read the story from the Jets?
Sure, man.
Shoot, it didn't work the first time. I was gonna, dang it.
You were trying to make a joke?
No, the Bitly was broken at the beginning. They fixed it. Dang it, man. Well, good for them.
Now you got to do the thing. You got to do the face again for that. Thank you.
Zoo York. That's now 3 Missouri Tigers.
On the Jets. Yeah, this is exciting, and it is funny that now we have. Does this make up for what we watched in that 2022 Auburn-Mizzou game, the battle between Anders Carlson and Harrison?
Yeah, I didn't understand that tweet at first, but then I realized afterwards. That's a good tweet, guys. Yeah. Whichever one of you tweeted that.
You'll never know.
Boy, Anders Carlson went like 1 for 8 in that game, and the one was like on his 8th chance. Goodness gracious.
Please subscribe on the YouTube.
Good job, admin.
Yeah, Anders Carlson was awful. My main bird is going to go to Luther Burden. That's not my bird connection. My bird connection is, of course, he was at a St. Louis, so he was a Flyer bird. He threw out the first pitch at a White Sox game.
What? What was wrong with
that? That's terrible. That's awful.
We've had way worse birds than that. Birds fly, don't they?
Wait, I was watching. I thought he was making fun of the pitch. What was your bird connection?
He was a flyer. He flies. Birds fly.
It's a plane.
What? Oh, come on. We've had so many worse bird connections than that one. I thought that one was a flyer.
At East St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's okay. I think that's
Thank
fine.
you. He threw out the first pitch to the White Sox. I was going to let YouTube Baseball Knowers grade his form here.
He's standing on the rubber.
I thought Kenny was making fun of the little short arm action there.
No, I think it looks fine.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. Yeah. I think they also, all the Bears rookies went to a Cubs game because Shamar Turner took photos on a disposable camera out there.
Kenny just said,
I don't know why you're
even though I think that's right.
No, Luther only went to the White Sox game. He's a White Sox fan.
Maybe he is, but he definitely was also at the.
I can't tell
Is there a video? Did the Cubs post a video?
Oh yeah, the Cubs might have posted. They definitely it was posted on Instagram for sure. I don't know if it was posted. The Cubs Twitter admin has been interesting this year. I don't know if he posted it there. He or she
doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't. But look up Shamar Turner. Can you look up Shamar Turner for me, please?
No.
Can you please look up Shamar Turner on Twitter for me?
I can't tell if I liked or hated those jerseys, by the way, that they were wearing the Bulls colors, White Sox jerseys. That's an aside. Peyton, what's the best thing you learned this week?
Best thing I learned this week. I didn't know this, but apparently everyone else did. I didn't know this. Sophie Cunningham, of course, was in the news this week. She was doing her enforcer role, taking it very seriously for Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Caused a whole scuffle there. It was awesome. Good for Sophie. But this also just became unearthed because of that, I guess. Sophie Cunningham was on the Rockbridge football team for a season. I did not know this at all. She of course is famous at Rockbridge for leading the women's team to 3 straight state titles. But she filled in for an injured kicker. There was a story in the Missourian about this. as I found out later on. Shout out to my stepmom for showing me that. And she made 2 of her 4 extra points and nailed her kickoffs according to this tweet. So didn't know this at all. You two did know this. I had no idea.
Yeah, that surprised me. You never learned that in your
Yeah.
time in Como. Yeah, she played football.
Yeah, and the Bruins head coach attributed the missed extra points to poor protection up front, actually. So it's an ABC 17 stories. So
throwing the protection, though, O-line
just had no idea that this happened. No clue.
How do we feel about these Rockbridge highlighter yellow jerseys?
They are bad. It
kind of tells you how old they are.
I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. Especially with the black
like
and
Oregon.
dark. Yeah, the black and dark green helmets. Like, it's just kind of Oregon wannabe a little bit. But yeah, very cool. And yeah, what a wild moment in that game with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. But she got a lot of love for that. Kenny, what did you learn this week?
Best thing I learned this week is that we had a true Sun Bowl in minor league baseball on Wednesday. We had 2 rehabbers going at it, Max Scherzer and Tanner Houck of the Blue Jays and Red Sox, respectively. Both of them graduates are products of Missouri baseball. Houck at a different point in his rehab than Scherzer. You can see by the lines. Houck only went an inning. Ended up throwing 32 pitches in that inning, though. Gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits and a walk. I mean, I wouldn't you don't take a lot of these, you don't really buy too much stock into rehab appearances, but Scherzer pitched well, like he usually does on these. He had 8 Ks or 4 1/3 innings, only issued 2 walks and yielded 1 hit. So good outing for him, and he seems a little bit closer getting back to the big leagues than Tanner Houck.
32 pitches in an inning feels like a lot.
It's a whole ton.
Yeah.
But basically, like the way it normally is categorized is once you get to 20 pitches, Jack, it's considered a long inning. 32 is like that's a starter wrecker. And good Scherzer in the minor leagues, whenever he's been on a rehab assignment, has been very good to the team he's been with. There's that famous story of him buying dinner for everyone on a rehab assignment. I really feel bad for not remembering what team it was, but Scherzer has always been very generous. Do you remember it, Kenny?
No, I just remember you bringing it up. I just wanted to drag you down.
Just remember you yapping about it.
Me yapping about it. That's a good thing to do.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Max Scherzer treated Mets. This is from the New York Post. But Max Scherzer treated Mets minor league teammates to $7,000 dinner.
Kenny apparently gets all of his news from the New York Post by that rate.
Might have been the Rumble. Yeah, it was the Rumble Ponies with Binghamton. So
yeah, I do remember that now.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So good for both them. Hopefully they can get through their recap speedily. All right, I have some good transfer.
Wait. What did you call it?
They get through their what?
What did I say?
You said recaps.
Oh, my bad. Rehab.
That's like what I was talking about. What did you call the AA affiliate of the Mets?
I didn't name the.
I'm talking to Payton.
Oh God,
it's the Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
Binghamton,
Binghamton, isn't it?
Binghamton.
Yeah,
Binghamton. That's what I said.
No, you said Binghamton.
Oh well, they also have a university there. They're the Bearcats. So,
and it's Binghamton. They're the Binghamton Bearcats. Kenny is right.
I thought you were saying I got the wrong level or something.
Yeah, I thought I did the
I didn't
reaction.
pronounce it like a New Yorker or something.
Something completely wrong. All right, I have some good transfer portal news. My best thing I learned this week. Softball did add a pitcher from Houston, Riley Michalak. She spent her freshman year with the Cougars and is coming to Mizzou next season. 59.2 innings pitched. She had a 6-5 record, 5.75 ERA, 35 strikeouts. As a true freshman. So not all bad on the transfer portal front for Mizzou, I guess, batting and fielding and catching sports. Softball added a pitcher, so hopefully she can do well. That pitching rotation is going to be really interesting next year for Larissa Anderson.
Yeah, power 4 starter, young.
As a true freshman.
True freshman, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully she can pan out. That is all I have. Folks, Payton, I turn it over to you.
For what?
I just want you to pronounce that city in New York again.
Binghamton.
It's wrong.
This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, why did the little strawberry cry? It's kind of morbid.
Why did the little strawberry cry?
Yeah.
They got cut in half.
Yeah, blended.
It's
I
the
mean,
worst.
you guys are on the right track. The answer, why did the little strawberry cry? His mom was in a jam.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh man, I was watching the Today Show this morning, and our friend Zach was here, and he said, "Why are we watching the news?" And I'm like, "This is the Today Show. It's not the news."
It's not the news.
Oh, typical Zach asking
they
those
tell-
types of questions.
did they tell
Zach
any
questions,
jokes?
They like to call it.
Any jokes?
No jokes. No jokes.
Sad. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back Friday. We'll have, I'm sure, some news down the pipeline. That always crops up, even though it is a slow time in the summer. Put more Mount Rushmore topics. Please don't lambast us too hard for not picking Booches. We tried to explain our reasoning, and we'll try it the next time we're in Columbia. All right, this has been the Unwritten Rule. We'll see you later. Bye.